Reality recap.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion, of course.
I look like the slay. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Tamara?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the...
Reality recap. Reality recap.
On last night's season premiere, by the way, of Real Housewives of Miami. This is season 7. Let me just show you guys or tell you guys really quickly because I always do. So again, this is Real Housewives of Miami, season 7. We had the premiere last night. And the episode title, if you're looking for it, is MIA Back in Action. So that's how you can find it if you need to. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video. Hit those little hearts, hit those little thumbs up. And again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's coming across the screen. Reality Recap 2876. Ooh, we'll twist it up here. Gotta figure that out. But make sure you follow in case you don't get to watch this live in its entirety. Or if you want to see any of my other recaps, they are all loaded there. I am recapping all trending reality TV shows, all of the housewives. Everything you need is there for you. And make sure you follow me on reality_recap on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, so that you stay in the know with all of the tea, honey. There was a lot of things happening yesterday, for real, like a lot happening. So take a look at it. Ralph dropping more receipts on Drew. We had Yandy's ex-best friend dropping receipts on her and an alleged side dude. It's just a lot happening in these internet streets and reality TV world, and I am the place to get it. So make sure you follow. Now we're going to get into my thoughts. Again, we are streaming live. Let me get I don't know, my iPad. My iPad won't stay open right now. So we are streaming live right now across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The comment section is open. You can let me know your thoughts on last night's episode as I give you my thoughts. Let me pull up my trusty notes and we'll get started. So we start off with a flashback, right? A chilling flashback of when Alexia and Todd got married on the previous season. They got married and everything seemed so great. They were so in love. They showed all of those happy moments. And then, boom, the headline came out that Todd filed for divorce from Alexia. Now, Alexia, she's telling her side of the story, and it's a big mystery as to what happened. She's not really sharing why he filed for divorce. It's more like she's talking about how she was blindsided, how the night before he moved out, they went out to dinner. They had an amazing time. They slept together. Everything was so great. He was telling her how he loves her. And she quickly realized, because she said the next day he was kind of rushing her out of the house, and he moved out and probably about a month prior had already secured an apartment. So he moved his things out and had already been in the process of moving items out, but she just didn't realize. I guess he was, taking a couple shirts here, a lamp here, I don't know, but she didn't really notice until boom, he was gone. Then she said even after he left that they were still discussing counseling, but she's not saying, I'm not sure it's so twisted, but she wasn't saying counseling on what, like what caused him to move like a thief in the night. It wasn't making sense. I have my own theories, which I'll share, but it wasn't really making sense as to why he would just get up and move. They seemed, and Instagram and blogs can be deceiving. They seemed happy traveling all over the place. We know on I always want to call her Adriana in past seasons says that there was rumblings of financial troubles. They had moved out of their apartment, moved into a smaller one, but nothing really happening. Or, and even if that was the case, right, financials, you would think she would be more the one to go if he lied about his financials, but I don't know. So yeah, she's saying he moved out in front of Frankie, her son, her disabled son, and kind of like didn't care about his state of mind, just got the hell up out of Dodge. And never did she touch on them. Again, saying she was blindsided, had no idea why, but never really touching on what caused him to leave. Now, my theory is just from previous seasons, there was always tension between Todd and her two sons. And maybe feeling like Alexia, she's a helicopter mom. And she's always talked about that, been proud about that, saying that's part of her culture, that, Cuban moms, Latin moms, they're really close to their children. They want to know everything's going on with them. And especially with Frankie, her disabled son, he wanted her to loosen the reins as far as allowing him to learn how to live in the world, how to take care of himself, you know, for him to learn how to get a job, take an Uber on his own. He had never done these things since his accident. When they were on the show, when before they were rebooted in their earlier seasons, Frankie had a horrific accident that left him paralyzed and with some brain damage. So she kind of does everything for him. He lives with him. And then also her other son, who's had some legal troubles, has had a little bit of a bad boy streak, was taking Frankie out. They were, smoking. He was getting him high, things like that. And he wasn't fond of that. And he talked about that in the previous season, and that seems to be where their frustration lied. So I'm just assuming that may have been one of the main reasons why he left or walked away, is what I'm thinking. Also, all of the women rallied around her and they were there for her. Even Adriana, which was a little weird to me, that Adriana, after all that she said, even that I mentioned, that she said about their finances, that she said about, you know, her just using money and being oblivious. She said a lot. They even flashed back to it, that she's like, yeah, I'm here to be there for her. I'm like, girl, I don't think she wants your support at all. But he moved out and they were still in communication. He filed for a divorce. I reported that back when it happened. But then 5 months later, right? We saw it on the blogs as well, including mine, that they're on the beach, they're PDAing, they're doing all of the things. So 5 months later, Marisol, Alexis, they get together to hang out with Lisa, and Alexia is seemingly at this dinner only wanting to talk about Lisa and how at that time, which I also reported, that's why you guys should be following me, but Lenny and his fiance, the woman that he left Lisa for, had broke off their engagement after 1 year. They're back together now, or I want to say, I should check that really quickly and see, because they haven't really posted a lot lately, but last they had seemingly reconciled and got back together. I just wanted to look at Lenny's page. I mean, he hasn't posted anything with her. except for is he getting a new house? Is that what I recall? Like building a new house. Yeah. Prairie home going up. This is the home I am building for my children during the times they are not with me. Oh, that's not his house. So he's building a home, I guess, for Lisa, since he's saying it's for the time that she's not with him. And he shows some home decor, but he hasn't posted. He posted some of the home designs about 2 days ago, but I haven't seen any posts with him and the fiance since like 2024. So I don't know. I'll take a look at her page. That's interesting. There's no pictures of Lenny on her page right now. So that's a bit interesting. Not since their engagement photo in 2023. Nothing, no other pictures of him at all. So they seem to be toxic and up and down, but they had reconciled at one point. So Alexia, she's like, yeah, Lenny is, broken up with his fiance. I hope Lisa doesn't go back or try to go back. She's in a relationship with this guy, Jody, which we'll talk about. But they're in a relationship. I hope she doesn't go back. And Marisol's like, yeah, all good and well. We talking about Lisa, but what about you, sis? Because I saw on the blog that you and Todd are back together. So what's going on? Because you didn't tell me that. So she looking like she didn't know it was in the blogs, but she's saying basically that they still love each other. There was rumors that they were shacked up in some hotel room. They were, seen out on the beach, like I mentioned, canoodling, hugging, but they put a halt on the divorce and have been spending time together. She's saying they both still love each other. So I'm it begs the question in my mind, the entire episode. So why did he go file for the divorce if y'all are still hanging out, sleeping with each other, in love with each other? You don't want to let him go. What is happening here? It's very confusing. All of these couples seem a bit toxic. I'm just gonna say, but yeah, it's very confusing to me. It's not clear what he even filed for. He did end up proceeding with the divorce. They are officially divorced, yet they were seen out again after that together. So it's just very confusing with Alexia and Todd. Not recently, though. I haven't seen them together, but they were literally like after moving forward with the divorce. So it's a weird, complicated situation. Aren't all situations complicated at this point? I mean, really. Lisa then comes into dinner. She plays a amazing joke on Alexia and Marisol because they're thinking that she may try to get back with Lenny and they want to ask her about that. And when they ask her about it, she's like, yeah, he has been asking to get back together and I'm considering it. They both was about to fall out. She was like, gotcha, bitches. She was only playing. I thought that was so funny because I ain't gonna lie. I was like that too. I was like, oh Lord, please don't go backwards, child. Please don't go backwards. But she was just playing. That was a good joke for real because she got me too. But Lisa then talks about how Larsa is upset with her. And I instantly start to feel like this is a curated beef where not so much on Lisa's side, but on Larsa's side. Because Larsa really doesn't have anything else going on, right? At this point in their filming, her and Marcus have broken up for like the 15th time. And we're over her OnlyFans feet storyline. So I'm not sure what else she would really give us besides her normal slashing, thrashing with her words. So Lisa talks about how Larsa is upset because she hangs out with Marcus, even though they're going through a breakup. And Lisa was very clear on it that they were out, her and Jody. They went in a restaurant. It's a small world, especially in Miami. And Marcus was there with some of Jody's best friends. Said they went over to the table, said hi, only was there for about a minute. And that was it. Jody did end up going to hang out with the guys and with Marcus, but she said, no, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do that. Her loyalty is with Larsa. What is the problem? Larsa seems very upset that not only Lisa is, or I guess stopped by to say hello, but that Jody still hang out with Marcus. Good luck getting a guy to stop talking to Michael Jordan's son. Good luck with that. But that's not who your friend is. That's not who your friendship is with. And Lars is saying like, oh well, Jody met Marcus through me. He wouldn't even know him. Yeah, but good luck with that. I don't know no guy that's gonna not be friends with Marcus Jordan and if they have the opportunity to, just if they need, in case they get to meet Michael Jordan. I wouldn't stop being friends with him if it was the other way around. You know what I mean? But if my loyalty to my friend, but also guys, that's why I don't befriend anybody's boyfriend to that level. I'm not texting and talking with nobody's boyfriend. I'm not following nobody's boyfriend or husbands. I'm just not doing that because my friendship is with you. I'll be cordial, but that's why I don't get mixed up in nonsense like that. Truly. That's really why I don't. So I just didn't understand why it was so important that Jody stopped or cut Marcus off as well. That's the part that's a bit jarring to me. But anyway, Lisa, she tells her side of the story. Alexia jumps in saying that, oh, she would be mad at Lisa as well, that she's probably mad that Lisa still follows Marcus. And Lisa was clear on that later in the episode. Like every time I turn around, they following each other, unfollowing each other. We've even been invited into the group chat, right? Where we see they're together, they're broken up. They're together, they're broken up. So she not about to be going back and forth where we friends. Oh, I can't be his friend this day. Y'all back together. Okay, I could be his friend again. So she just leaves the follow. I doubt Lisa cares what Marcus is doing on his timeline. She only cares what's going on her timeline. Like we know Lisa is self-absorbed. She always has been. So she's not really checking for, let me go and follow him. Let me follow him back. That's not probably on Lisa's radar. So I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of on Lisa's side in this. I don't feel like she showed any disloyalty and she can't control what Jody does. Now, I do know at the dinner, we'll talk about a little bit more where Lisa's like, well, you sucking his pain. You can't make him do what you want him to do. And I'm saying if that was the case, if just sucking pain could get guys to do everything the right way or what you wanted, the world would be a whole different place and she would still be with Scotty. So please stop it. Like if the boy want to hang out with them, that's what he gonna do. As long as she's being loyal, what are you expecting here? It's just giving, I need a storyline. The producers called and said, okay, what you got going on this season? She said, I'm gonna talk about my breakup with Marcus. I'm gonna try to give y'all some tears. No tears coming down, too much Botox. She can hardly formulate her face to cry. And she's gonna add in beef with her closest friend. It just sucks though, because it sucks all the way around when these friends are beefing, close friends. I hate that for housewives when they're going through stuff. Like, I don't know. It sucks. Lisa's still trying to move on from Lenny. She's going through this breakup. It always seems with the housewives when they should be supporting each other the most, that when they're close friends, that's when they get to beefing because they're just not hearing each other. They're not communicating well. They're taking their frustrations out on each other. I feel the same with like Portia and Drew. Like y'all both going through divorces. Y'all should be there for each other, not fighting with each other over go naked hair. I don't know, but it just sucks to see that happen. But we'll talk about it a little bit more. Julia is baby proofing her home. She was able to finally complete her adoption process and she adopted 2 baby boys. She's not showing them on the show. Understandable. She's not exposing them to that life or putting them on social media. Totally understandable. And she talks about Julia talks about Gertie. And she's saying how she had a Zoom call to announce to all the girls that she had completed her adoption processes and that she had adopted, and that Gertie came on to the Zoom call it didn't work out, or she dropped off, never came back. She said that Gertie texted her saying, "Hey, I can't get in." She wasn't able to respond because she was already on the Zoom, and that after the Zoom, Gertie just said, "Well, congrats. It was very cold." And she's another one that gives curated storyline to me, Julia, just because, again, what else does she have going on? Like, we get the adoption. Congratulations. You're not showing the children. So where would that storyline lead us? Her her partner, went through her breast cancer journey, or not breast cancer, but went through her cancer journey, and they come out on the other side. She's cancer free. So glad to hear that, by the way. But where else does this leave Julia other than in the farm with all these animals? She's not one known to beef with other housewives. So this is another one that seems like this is show business at the end of the day. That she got a call from the producers like, all right, what do you got going on in your life? Let's see if we can put you on this show. Because if not, we're going to cut your ass or you're going to be a friend of. That's how it goes. So she's like, all right, I'm going to beef with Gertie. Another one that's deciding to beef with their closest friends when you are adopting. Gertie's picking up the aftermath of her breast cancer journey when y'all should be bonding and getting along best, not communicating. So Gertie talked about that as well, saying that she had appointments. She got on the Zoom. She couldn't hear. It wasn't working. It dropped. And she reached out to Julia. It was more than just a one-word text of congrats, that she said that basically Julia told her, well, you missed the meeting. Go fetch the information online. Like, I've already announced it and it's already out there. So actually, let me show you guys. I don't know if you can. I wonder if I can. Let me make that bigger. So Gertie dropped a text message on her story earlier today about the screenshots, receipts, proof, timelines of the conversation with Julia. So it says, "Hi, are you sending a new link? Never worked when I tried it 3 times." Julia responded and said, "Hi, sorry, my friend. I don't know what went wrong. We only had one link that everybody stayed on. Sorry you couldn't get in. I had something amazing to tell you guys at the same time. Now it's out and have been publicly announced. Talk to you soon. Hope you're feeling better after your surgery and will recover fast." Gertie said, "Oh, okay. So I guess I'll look online for this announcement, okay?" And Julia responded, "You will understand when you read. My hands are literally full right now, so I am dictating this message, but I will talk to you soon." And Gertie said, "Congrats." So I don't get, what's the beef here? Because she missed the Zoom call, but she reached out and tried to get in. She also, up there in pink, in case you can't see it, it says, "Mind you, she never told me the news by text or by phone. So she literally made me fetch the information. And after Googling it, I still said congrats." So what's the beef here? It's giving another curated storyline. That's just how I feel. You know? Let me know your thoughts. But moving on, Lisa's in her loophole rental. I call it a loophole rental because we know a part of Lisa's, divorce settlement and getting her monthly allowance, the house that Lenny is building for her and the children, or bought for her and the children. There's stipulations there that if she moves in with this guy Jody, that alimony will stop, and he's not allowed to move in the house that Lenny has for her. That's how he keeps his his thumb on Lisa. So Lisa found a loophole, and she has a rental property that her and her guy Jody stay in. I still don't feel like she's fully. It would be weird, but I guess if you choose to be with someone that's going through a divorce, it's par for the course. But she does spend a lot of time comparing. "Oh, I love this house way better than that big, huge white house I lived in. This is more cozy." Jody seemed a little offended. Like, this is still 6,000 square feet with a 6,000 square feet patio outside. Like, what do you mean it's just cozy? He seemed a little a little irritated by that comment. I don't know. But yeah, he was more so saying like, sis, you still living a good life. Okay. So she was like, yeah, she's just constantly comparing a bit. And I don't know, maybe he's at this point, I don't know if he's tired of that. It's been about a year, but it's par for the course when you decide to be with someone going through a divorce. But also Larsa mom is in town and she's talking about Marcus. She says that her kids were tired of the back and forth, so she decided to end things. She also mentions that his addictions also caused her to end the relationship. She says that he got, a bit tough with her through text messages towards the end, threatening to ruin her and to leave him alone, and contacting her friends, talking badly about her. I don't know who, she didn't mention the friends, but real friends wouldn't even be listening to that. That's all I'm gonna say. So again, that's part of her storyline, and she's saying that she's upset with Lisa because he, threatened things with her family and kids. But Lisa said later on she didn't know that. So I don't get these beef. I really don't. Um We then have Kiki. She has a yacht day. And that's when we get to learn that Gertie, she's picking up the pieces after her breast cancer battle, which she won. And she's cancer free. And again, so happy to hear that for Gertie as well. She wants to make sure her marriage is strong. She doesn't want her husband to look at her as like he has to be her caretaker. She wants him to really just try to get back to their norm. That's what she's hoping for. It was a long journey. She talked about that, like 6 surgeries or something, like 20 rounds or plus of chemo. She went through a lot. She's a true soldier. We love you over here at Reality Recap, Gertie. But she's, one of her breasts is smaller. She had to try, she's trying to fix that. She gained a bit of weight, which she still looks amazing, honey. And she's just, picking up the pieces of her life and don't really got time for Julia and her Zoom meeting bullshit. Like, what is really going on? So that's where because Adriana joined Kiki's yacht day as well. And that's what she's talking about. Even though I was right, I really want to be there for Alexis. If she needs me, I'm right here for her. They was looking at her like, I don't think she wants you there. Same thing I was thinking, for real. Kiki's single again. The man that they talked about on the reunion, she said that things have ended because he had a whole girlfriend the whole time. So she's back on the market with her pretty beautiful self. So hopefully she finds someone else. But in the meantime, if you're gonna be on your ex's yachts, cool. If you're part of the Miami Yacht Beach Club, cool. So good way to get back. But that's what they did and talked about. We then get to Lisa's party. Lisa throws a party for Jody. It's his birthday, but it really is giving, I hate to say it, but it's giving low budget Bezos party. I feel like production here tried to emulate what took place in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with an event, a huge event, the first episode, and watching the girls fight in all corners. That's what I feel like Miami was trying to achieve. It went off okay, but Salt Lake City is still that girl for me. But it gave low budget Bezos. It was, red flowers everywhere. She had, they taking bone marrow shots and things like that. But it definitely wasn't at the level of the Bezos party. Sorry, that's just how I feel. And everybody's at the party walking on eggshells. Gertie's walking on eggshells around Julia. She's not sure what the issue is. Larsa comes in. Lisa is a little bit on edge as well. And no conversations really go great. Gertie's talking to Julia's partner, asking like, yo, what's up? I feel on the outside. I don't know. she doesn't really want to be involved. She's like, oh, you dropped from a Zoom call. I don't know what's going on. Y'all figure it out. And she walks off. So Gertie's just sitting there like, oh, okay. Larsa comes fashionably late, I guess. She comes and she immediately Lisa decides I'm the host. I'm gonna go speak to her. And Lisa tries to have a conversation with her, but Larsa tries to have a conversation with Lisa, but Lisa's two sheets to the wind. She's like, did I call you? I don't know. Did I text you after you know, these mean, rude ass text messages you sent me? I'm not sure. Did I? Did I don't know. I'm gonna go do a wardrobe change. I said, is this a wedding? She's doing a wardrobe change at her boyfriend's birthday party. I don't know. But she goes to do her wardrobe change. And we're kind of like, what's going on with Jody? Because that was the most concerning for me, is that Jody's like, let's go get some AC, guys. And he's talking to one of his friends. And immediately my antenna said, boo. What do you mean go get some AC? You're in this whole 6,000 square foot mansion. Only one room has AC. And they scurry off into this room. So immediately I'm thinking, is this why you want to maintain friendship with Marcus as well? Because we know Marcus was seen. We know he has some addictions. We saw him with the powder on the nose, across seas, you know, sniffing them lines up. So I'm wondering, what is AC code for? They even went to the door and you could hear them like, oh, this AC feels so good, doesn't it? Yeah, it feels great. So I'm gonna be honest with you, my mind was stuck on that for the majority of the rest of the episode. Even though Larsa and Lisa were throwing daggers, the whole time I'm saying, what is going on in that room with Jody? Now Jody do be on this show with his eyes stretched out like this, so it's not far-fetched if you ask me. But my antennas went up, and apparently a bunch of y'all's did as well. So it wasn't just me. I saw a couple of bloggers saying, like, is that code for the snow? The AC? I don't know, but I'm a little bit concerned, have to be honest. I'll be looking out to see if that's addressed on social media anytime soon, or if Lisa's on Watch What Happens Live. I know I'm gonna be on Twitter asking Uncle Daddy Andy to ask her that question if she's coming on Watch What Happens Live, for real. But Larsa, again, after Lisa's wardrobe change, they sit down and she's like, oh, Lisa's saying karma has come back around. I guess she meant about Lenny and his fiance breaking up. So she's like, karma comes back around. I feel so great. I'm in a great mood, ready to celebrate. And Larsa's like, but don't forget about your friends that was there for you when you was sad. Now we sad, and you don't reach out, you don't call, you still hanging out with Marcus. And she's like, I'm not hanging out with him. She tells her exactly what she told to Alexia and Marisol. And she's saying, well, Jody's hanging out with them. Larsa also questioned Jody at the party. He's doing the same thing. Like, I didn't know all of this was going on. Like, don't let me lose my friend. It's basically what his face was saying. Like, I don't want to be involved. Because yeah, he's not involved. He's not your friend. Lisa is. So I don't get the big deal. But Larsa cuts deep when she argues, and so does Lisa. So I didn't get the comparison. Larsa saying like, well, would you want us to still be friends with Lenny and following him? And she's like, that's a 15-year marriage to your 1-year relationship. Apples to oranges. And I understood that, to be honest. Like, this was your little man toy, your little man candy. It's not the same thing. But she's not hanging out with him anyway. But then they get a little bit deeper, and Larsa's saying, like, she's saying, well, you decided to make him your boyfriend. And she's like, and you decided to have girls in your hot tub. I guess it's insinuating that because she allowed things like that in the famous Halloween party with women dressed in nothing, that she lost her husband. So Lisa took offense to that. And she's like, don't talk about my life or my sex life or anything like that. And then they also get into, they are cursing at each other, or she calls Lisa a bitch, and she like, all right, get out. they're telling her, the ladies are saying, no, you can't kick her out. Don't do that. Don't do that. They try to talk again. And Lisa keeps it 100. Like, yo, y'all keep breaking up back and forth. She said, the last time y'all broke up, we left a real party for your fake breakup. And that set Larsa off. Fake breakup, fake breakup. Nothing. Oh, you think I'm that whack? We do. That I need to do a fake breakup. Everybody thought that it was fake, not just Lisa. And it sounds like Lisa know what the hell she talking about. But even the internet said that it was a publicity stunt. Hell, the internet thought the whole relationship was a publicity stunt. Like, at the end of the day, this man's father played with your ex-husband. You saying, oh, you didn't know him like that, or you didn't know Marcus at all, it doesn't matter. So if we're talking about loyalty, you wouldn't even be messing with Marcus to begin with. So it's not really, it's just giving curated beef. And she just kept repeating, fake breakup, fake breakup, fake breakup, fake breakup, walking all outside, trying to cry, nothing coming out. She's in the confessional trying to cry. I saw someone say this on Instagram yesterday, and I believe it is too. I feel like Larsa's going to have another season where we don't really like her. I ain't going to speak for y'all. I'll speak for me. I don't care for her at all. I really don't. Like, I just feel like she's trying to live her life backwards, not judging. I just don't care for it. You know, she was in this marriage, a long-term marriage, got married young, had children, missed her like college fun-free days, and she walked away from that to do OnlyFans, date young guys, and kind of like live what maybe she thinks she's missed. She's now in another relationship with I forget his name. I'll look it up, but he is an athlete as well. I think he plays in like the Haitian basketball league. Handsome, tall guy, but also looks young as well. So Jeff Colby is his name. He was born in 1994. So clearly, I just don't know. I mean, Marcus was cheating on her. She said that. He got caught out. Adriana brought that up as well in the previous season. So he's got caught out with other women and texting and doing things. So you left a marriage to Scotty for that. She was well taken care of. I'd rather cry in a Rolls Royce. That's just me. Just my thoughts. Don't mind me. But yeah, I just feel like we're going to have another season of not really caring for Larsa that much. But she ends up leaving the party. Jody's still in that room. He didn't come out. So we'll see where we end. Like, do we start off still at the party the next episode? But it was a great season premiere. Few beefs happening. Again, I do feel like one or two of them are curated. But overall, a great start to the season. A lot to come. We didn't meet the new housewife last night, and I heard she brings that fire. Miami's hot, hot. So I can't wait to meet the new housewife because she don't play no games. She's super rich. Some of y'all said y'all miss Dr. Nicole. I'm good. Nothing against her, but I'm good. I just don't get attached to housewives like that where I'm sad. I'm always willing to give new housewives a chance unless they prove me otherwise. So this one's coming in. I also heard she actually used to date Dr. Nicole's allegedly. I don't know, Dr. Nicole and that guy, they never got married, still engaged or had another baby, but didn't actually get married. But I heard she used to date Dr. Nicole's fiance back in the day. But anywho, she's super rich. Private jets, Rolls Royces, Birkins. Call me shallow, but I love a good housewife that's rich. And who don't take no shit. And that's what I hear this new housewife is gonna bring. So I'm seated. I'm gonna keep recapping. Let me know your thoughts on the season premiere of season 7 Real Housewives of Miami. But those are my thoughts. Again, if you didn't get to watch this live in its entirety, it will be on my YouTube channel, Reality Recap 2876. So make sure you subscribe. You set your alerts so you don't miss any of my recorded ones because I don't do them all live. You know, some of them are recorded as well so that you get all of the tea. And again, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, what you see here, reality_recap, so that you always get the trend in reality news. All right. So I will be back to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'll give you some short videos, my thoughts on the Never Ever Mets. And yeah, I'm also incorporating back into the mix of weekly reality news where we just go through everything that's happening news wise. So I'm into incorporating that back. You know, the kids are a little busy, so we might not do it this week. But I'll try to get one in over the weekend or early next week. All right. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for stopping by the live. Before I end, as I always say, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Y'all have a great day. Peace.